And news from the world of cricket: England have lost a Test match. Patul Nisanka is the star of the show.
Yeah.
Are England becoming arrogant with their batting?
Maybe.
They have been arrogant with their batting. If that wasn't the case, they wouldn't have had that declaration in the first Test match in the Ashes. They wouldn't have played some of the cricket that they played here in India as well if it wasn't about the arrogance. So, time and again, you get these reality checks. They would have easily won the Ashes had it not been for that premature declaration. Had they been a little smart about their cricket here as well after having taken a lead in the series here in India. You don't get to do that as a visiting team very often, that you win that to the opening Test match. So
that reminds me, talking about England, their approach. Just today I saw, I think Rishabh Pant has done a podcast or something like that. So I saw one of his clips. Since we were discussing what is it, I think only shots. One of the shots was where he says, he himself is saying, कि क्या you guys keep doing ये bass ball. मैं तो जब से आया हूँ तब से वैसे ही खेलता. Which is right, you know, like Pant ball was happening before bass ball, but nobody gave him credit for that. But I mean the point is that in England's case the entire team
here just one or two players in the Indian team. You can have Jaiswal ball as well.
Jazz ball.
Sarfaraz ball also. He also plays like that.
Safi.
Riyan Parag ball. He's playing like that in Bullet Trophy.
Mushir ball.
We can have Shreyas also then. Shreyas Iyer. Or whatever. Shaz ball.
And what else can we have?
Row ball is a real thing.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
Row ball is a real thing in the
irrespective of the
ODI format of the game. In the shortest also.
Shortest though.
Test he can.
Now he's retired now.
It was a thing. And
the only shot that comes to my mind when you talk about Rohit, that 6 of Pat Cummins. Stroke sweep. I'm sure you watched it live.
That was incredible. I put it in my list of best T20 knocks. I got 41. A lot of flack also for that, saying, because you know what happened, Viratians and Rohitians came and they fight now. He's put this.
29 of Stark, yaar.
No, that was an incredible knock. Absolutely brilliant. Yannick Sinner has won the US Open.
Yeah, he won the first one. The Australian Open also belonged to him. So
after he was given some sort of relief in his drug-related case.
Yes.
That's another debate, but he has. Is it the rise of the next bunch of youngsters?
Yeah.
Yannick
2
Sinner.
Grand Slams for Sinner and 2
for
Alcaraz
Alcaraz
this year.
In between all of this, there's a gold medalist in
Novak
Djokovic.
He's the only one left now.
Who still comes from that era. The last man standing from the era that we're talking about coming to an end. But hopefully, let's see, for everything that he's done, does he get his 25th Grand Slam or not? This entire year you were waiting for it to happen. Fortunately, it didn't. But I hope he does. For everything that he's done, does deserve that 25th one as well. And injuries have not been kind to him. Maybe then he can, with a clear mind, decide what his future is to be like.
Yeah, what are we here for?
We're here for the 5 big learnings.
Because we're talking about things that are making news. What is the name of our javelin thrower? F41 category won the gold medal. Navdeep Kumar.
Yeah, Singh.
Navdeep Singh. His celebrations are going viral.
Should be played.
His celebrations are going viral. But I have objection to one thing in that, which I was pointing out to my colleagues on top.
Yeah.
Everyone is saying they're showing his celebration and sharing it, making it go viral, saying देखा Delhi का winner है. Bhai, he's not from Delhi. He's from Panipat or Sonipat, one of those places, which is in Haryana. It may be close to Delhi, but it does not become Delhi now. So I have no thing, but it's like the same. I was just pointing out, like in South, everyone is from Madras. ऐसा तो नहीं है. firstly Madras doesn't exist and it's now Chennai, but
Yeah.
there are different. Now, if you're from Mysore, you're from Mysore.
Yeah.
If you're from Mangalore, you're from Mangalore. Different state, different city. It's not the same. So, yes, the only similarity is you could have written, okay, North India, something like that. But Delhi ka hai, so he's celebrating like that. He's not from Delhi.
It's a
my
proper
friend.
couple of hours drive from Delhi.
But he's explained why he was celebrating like that. He said that once he threw, he could not believe it. First he asked his coach, kitna fega? The coach said this much. He said, nahi, maa kasam khao, itna fega. He said, okay. He said, after that I was so excited. I said,
Went around jumping.
he went down jumping.
Yeah.
It was a silver which is turned to gold. By the way, why that happened? We've got a video up on that already. Is it up? Or?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it is up. Why is it that Navdeep's silver turned into a gold medal? How is it that the Iranian javelin thrower was disqualified? That video is already up or is going to be about to be up, I think. Shivam doesn't know. It will be up shortly. So you can check out. There's the celebration also there in that, and they can check that also
No.
in that video.
Just a
Celebration is there, actually.
glimpse of it, but we've had to work on the audio.
You've seen it.
I was overhearing things.
Celebration is also there. Check it out, it will be up very shortly amongst other videos that we have done through the day.
But you know, just digressing from the topic, going back to that Rohit knock versus Australia. So I have.
Suddenly remembered.
Yeah, I actually remember one of the things. So there's one of my friends who I think he told me a couple of days back that every night I watch his innings. Every night I watch his innings versus Australia.
There you go.
That's what he told me.
There you go. That's why we had put him in that top 5 or top 10 T20 knocks.
And that's 6 specifically. He says that.
In fact, his knock in Guyana was also outstanding. Those
That
spin-friendly-
England match, no?
Yeah. Spin-friendly conditions
Semi-final, yeah.
in Guyana.
50
Incredible.
odd.
Incredible knock.
Hey, it was like turning like anything.
Yeah, you
In
saw
the
when
middle
England
overs,
came
yes.
up back. You saw how tough it was.
Yes.
He played an incredible knock that time as well. Anyway, we are here. We discussed the team selection yesterday as soon as it happened live. And then we discussed in detail the nitty-gritties of the selection, why this one is in, good idea, bad call, whatever. If you haven't checked that video out, you can check that. So we're not going to get into the nitty-gritties of selection that we've done yesterday. What we're going to do in the dugout today is basically take a look at what are the signs or the clues that we are getting about the future of Indian cricket from this Indian squad announcement. Once you see the squad, it tells you the roadmap or where Indian cricket is going to be heading, good, bad, whatever you may see in certain different factors or points. That is what we're going to discuss. So 5 big takeaways that we are taking for keeping in mind the future of Indian cricket from this squad announcement. ये squad क्या कहता है? If I had to translate in Hindi, it must be saying something to you, something to me, something.
What will be the Punjabi transfer it?
Ki कहंदा?
We'll do it.
5 ਵੱਡੀ ਗੱਲਾਂ.
Yes, sahi.
Okay, so we'll do the drill. We'll go in this order for now, and we can then turn it around this order next time.
Shivam actually told me to bring up some Punjabi in today's conversation
Why is
because he's so overcome by the arrival of Diljit, which is going to happen next month. He's so excited about it. Like there has to be
There's
something
so much
Punjabi.
time left.
But the euphoria is such with regards to the singer.
Sold out.
Tomorrow.
Oh, they start from
Yeah.
It's at Javelin Nehru Stadium, no?
Yeah.
Big enough.
No, but it never happens inside the stadium. That's the unfortunate part.
Oh, this is on the. I know that those grounds outside. Yeah.
Yes.
That's also pretty big though. That ground.
Still, because he's done all of these concerts outside in big stadiums and big arenas.
Why not do it inside?
Again, because it's the only precious sporting arena that you have here in Delhi also, of that scale, of that kind of facility. I think the idea is to procure it, save it as much as possible.
Maybe. Anyway, that's a different debate. So 5 vaddi galla, as Sashit has put them, we're going to have that since Diljit Dosanjh is the flavor of the week, month.
Yeah.
So we'll go this way first.
Yeah,
Let Mr. Gulati to my left have the pleasure and the honor of picking the first takeaway that he thinks.
Okay, thank you.
By the way, I'm equally Punjabi. I don't know if Punjabi flavor you've given Gulati the first choice.
No, it's not got. Even I'm a Punjabi, but I have not taken it.
Okay.
So it's just, maybe next round can come like that. Next round can be like.
Okay.
He's
Punjabi by heart.
We are by birth. You are by heart.
By heart.
Okay, go.
Yeah. So I think we have already.
Before he goes, since
Yeah.
he is Siddharth Gulati, he gets a discount at Gulati restaurant.
I knew this was coming.
The Punjabi connection.
No,
helps.
it didn't have to be news here.
That serves one of the best butter chickens in Delhi.
Yeah.
Gulati restaurant in Pandara Road. If you ever visit Delhi,
Delhi.
do go and check that out. Yeah, sorry.
Now
go.
my family will be like, "Teri choch band nahi hote." Okay, so I think obviously we have discussed about Bumrah's workload. How many test matches is he going to play in the next 4-5 months? We already have 2 matches against Bangladesh, 3 New Zealand, 5 Australia. So that's the thing that's been pretty much discussed. We have had our different perspectives. But one point that I felt needs to be a part of this, that one of the biggest learnings that there is from India's team selection for Bangladesh series is that Bumrah has primarily been selected because of Bangladesh's impressive batting against Pakistan.
Otherwise, if Bangladesh would have flopped, let's say, and
Things could have been different. You never know. See, any which ways, let me just quote you an example. The most experience that Bangladesh have in their batting order is their middle order. You have Liton Das, you
Shakib.
have Mushfiqur Rahim, you have Shakib Al Hasan, then Mehdi Hasan Miraj is proving to be a more than effective all-rounder. So you would want that apart from your spinners who are obviously going to, do majority of the workload in the 2-match series against Bangladesh in all likelihood, you wouldn't want to keep your best fast bowler out of that series, primarily because of the fact that number one, Bangladesh are strong. Bangladesh's batting is strong and they have proven it against Pakistan. And let's just not forget that in the first test match, even if it was a flat deck against Pakistan at Rawalpindi, you still need a lot of mettle, composure, and for that matter even attitude to score 190 odd, which is something Mushfiqur Rahim did. Then in second test also, under tough conditions, you had a Liton Das who scored 100, and then there was Mehdi Hasan Miraj who scored a 70 odd. So I think that pretty much proves that Bangladesh's middle order is, tough to conquer. That is one point. Secondly,
what's your takeaway first? We have to put the takeaway.
My takeaway is that Bumrah's selection has been primarily because of Bangladesh's impressive show.
How is that? See, the thing is, the takeaway has to be keeping in mind India's future. What is the selection telling you about India's future? So here you're talking about why an ex-player has been picked or dropped, which I mean, you have a valid point and valid reason to think that is how he's been picked, but that's not a takeaway for the India squad going forward, right? I want us to put 5 things that you think this squad is indicating for future of Indian Test cricket. Okay. Why Bumrah has been picked, as you are yourself saying, and this is conjecture. I may think of a different reason, he may think, and you think could be valid. But that is, you're justifying the selection or a non-selection. Like, for example, I could say that no, I think Yash Dayal was the best left-arm spinner that there is. But that is not telling you about the future of Indian cricket. What is a takeaway for this? You look at this squad and, future. For example, and I think that's a good takeaway because it's your point as well. When I came into office, you were talking about India's openers.
Backup openers,
So maybe one takeaway is that this squad selection tells you that India doesn't have too many backup opening options,
or they do not trust the backup opening options that they already have.
Which means you're not options, no. In the sense, if you don't trust something, that means that's not a good enough backup.
True.
Like if that's not, supposing if we reach a stage in spinners, there will be 50 spinners playing for India, but if I'm not going towards them, then I do not trust the backup. So maybe that is I mean, is that one you want to pick, or you want to pick? I want a takeaway for Indian cricket. What
Okay.
is it?
Yeah.
Or you could pick anything.
I agree
because
with this.
it was yours.
Yeah, it is my point. Yeah. So I thought that I would start with Bumrah because we have to take the Bangladesh
I
series
like
also.
the point that you're making, but all I'm saying is that's not a takeaway for India. That's a very strategic thing that you're pointing out, that they've picked Bumrah because they think that Bangladesh's batting is pretty good. They coped up very well with the Pakistan bowling attack, is what I'm thinking you're getting. But that's not a takeaway for India. That's a merit or a demerit to pick a player or drop a player.
Yeah.
What does this squad announcement tell you for the future of Indian cricket?
I think definitely the point that obviously we discussed in previous night's discussion also, that India do not really have any backup openers.
Okay, so let's debate that. Let's put one as a takeaway. Lack of backup openers for India. Can we have that, Shivam, if you're listening, please?
Lack of backup openers.
My only thing with that is, while we
we can debate that and you can disagree.
it is a takeaway for sure. Like there can be multiple takeaways here. The one thing over here is that when we also were thinking of the 15, again the constraint is that you had to draft a team of 15 or squad of 15. There was always going to be a debate as to how many backups you can take. You can't possibly take a backup for every role, otherwise you will need a squad of 22 players. But you only have a squad of 15, and then you look at people filling in who can give me what. The idea for 15 is that those 4 extra players, who gives you what in a crisis situation. Like for example, if you were to ask me, it appears to me that KL Rahul is that backup opener right now. If the need arises.
No, he won't be. I tell you why. I just on that, and you can continue with your point, because if that was the case, he would be opening in Duleep Trophy. If need be, he did not. Interestingly, Shubman Gill was.
But it's not crisis. I'm saying if India crisis hit.
But I'm saying the fact that Shubman was, I think in that pecking order also, you might have a situation where Shubman opens ahead of KL Rahul in a crisis. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Whatever, I'm saying, but that also, for as far as his merit with the bat is concerned, he can be that option as well. So to say that lack of backup openers, again, I think there was a constraint over here. You had to name 15 at the end of it. So
no, you named 16.
16. So you can go ahead, you can have the liberty of naming 18 also. It's a home series after all. But
I disagree with that, Harshad. I'll tell you why. If you really needed to, if you're naming 16, you could have named 17 also if you wanted to. Or if you do not want to name 17, because then there's no end to it, if that's the argument, then you really did need to name 4 fast bowlers. You have, in the previous series versus England, had 3 fast bowlers in your squad. You played that full series with 3 in the squad. You never had 4. And you will at best play...
There were 4 there as well, no? There was Mukesh, there was Siraj, there was Jasprit, and there was a 4th bowler as well.
When Jasprit was playing, he was there. When Jasprit was not playing, which he rested, then you got a 3rd. You only played 2.
Then you had AajTak also, no? Later.
But that was later.
Yeah, that was later, obviously.
And at no point, you can take out, please, Shivam, please give us the squad for England series, India versus England squad for the first test match, not the overall, because then
just check, because there was squad for the first 2, I remember, and then there was squad for the next 3.
You will have to check it like that, because if you check overall squad, what they typically do websites, they put all players that were selected.
No, so if you go to Bradman's done the way that we are expecting it to have the breakup.
No, they don't.
They have. I checked before coming. They have.
Go up.
I'm not sure. Okay.
No. So go over there. Go to England tour.
Yeah.
Go to squads. See, use this. See squads over there.
Right. Yeah.
Entire squad, I think.
So see, they're done.
India
First 2
and second.
And go over there. Yeah. Come down.
Yeah.
Come down. Scroll down. That was fine.
No.
That was fine.
That was fine. Just scroll down after that.
जहाँ थे आप वहीं जाओ. Only one.
Just go down. Yeah.
This is
Perfect.
which one?
Go anyone.
Go down. Keep going down. There you see. So there is Mukesh, Siraj, Avesh, and Jasprit.
No, one was sent back to play domestic cricket. Avesh was not in the squad.
Okay.
I remember they only kept that 3 at one point, and they only played 2. I remember Avesh, if I'm not mistaken, was sent to play a Ranji Trophy
match.
Yes.
So they did that. I think they kept it because if Jasprit will be playing or not, which game, and there was a longish series, so they didn't need to. Plus, if you look at now in terms of their spinners, they have Kuldeep, Shivam? There is
Saurabh Kumar, Akshar Patel.
No, Acha, they put them as all-rounders.
Yeah.
Jadeja and
Spinning all-rounders,
yeah, spinning all-rounder. So you could have, I mean, you didn't need too many backups there as well. You could have looked at
a backup opener maybe. Because see, any which way, one thing for KL Rahul is like assured, and that's what even the management have also made a comment, that we are not looking at KL as an opening batter across formats now. This is one thing that is clear, that we have already rotated him a lot. The best position that we feel for him where he can contribute for India a lot is the middle order, and specifically in Test cricket. If you remember, let's just go back to that 2021 Test series versus England. Initially, when Mayank Agarwal was set to open with Rohit Sharma, but then when he had a concussion, that's when they had KL Rahul open the innings there. But the initial thing that was told to KL Rahul at that point was, we are looking at you as a middle order batter now because you play spin well, and that's what we are looking at.
What my point over there only is that he starts, of course, in the middle order, but the fact that you don't have, firstly, didn't have the luxury of naming an all-round or backup for every slot. Number one. Number two, it doesn't necessarily tell me that there is maybe a dearth of talent in the opening.
See, I can't
in the opening slot.
I'll tell you why. See, because nobody wants to. You've reached the situation where Gill now wants to bat in the middle order. KL Rahul wants to bat in the middle order. That's another thing you're saying. Push comes to shove, emergency situation. That's another thing.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about openers as such, right? So I'm not treating them as openers because they themselves don't want to open right now, right? So you pretty much know. Now the thing is, whether you have not taken a backup opener right now because you think these players can fill the slot is another thing. I'm talking in general. Do a lot of them inspire confidence? I think the ones that you're looking at, Abhimanyu Ishwaran was one of those. Priyank Panchal was one of those.
Rutu.
Or Ruturaj Gaikwad is. But are any of those really screaming like the embarrassment of riches you have in the middle order?
Yes.
Where you can even play a Jurel as a player, you can play a Sarfraz
Padikkal.
also. Even they've got Padikkal who in that one chance did decently well. So you have a lot of these players that you're looking at, or even in the future you're going to look out and see a few more players. Even a Shreyas Iyer is there in the waiting, or a Riyan Parag is there in the waiting. Whoever else, you're looking at a few players in the middle order. So there are, but in opening, I think that the luxury of having multiple openers is missing, and I think that maybe if you had an outstanding opener at the moment, I think they would have picked him. Just because you do not have an outstanding opener, you say, okay, let's go with the two. If need be, we'll push our middle order
guys,
and them to do
that I agree. There may be not somebody out there who's outstanding and screaming of there being an inclusion, like was the case with the Sarfaraz prior to the England series. That you had to find a way of having somebody who scored 1,000+ runs for 3 to 4 seasons now in the squad. Whatever be it, yes, there came a bit of an opening and there you had him.
Yeah. So that's one takeaway, lack of backup openers. That is a fact going forward. This is an indication that you're getting in the squad that you've picked. Okay, my turn to pick a takeaway. My one takeaway is that I think you have seen the end of rank turners in Indian cricket, and I base that on the squad selection now.
Okay.
I mean, you got a bit of an insight in the England series itself, some sort of indication that India may be going that way, but you were still not 100% sure because it's series by series. You could change, you could go back. Who knows what could have happened? Even now they can. But I think with the squad that you've selected now, with the fast bowlers that you've selected 4. That's one reason. The fact that you are playing a Jasprit Bumrah. See, if you're going to go with again typical Indian pitches, you did not need to have a Jasprit Bumrah. You could have utilized him in conditions that would be more suitable for him, right? But the fact that you're getting him is because you will have conditions that will be good for fast bowling, not maybe throughout the test match, maybe day 1, day 2. That's why you need someone like a Jasprit Bumrah. If you were making rank turners, I would say forget it. Why trouble him and bring him here? You will anyway need your fast bowlers to bowl the shuru cut 10 overs. Get anybody to do those 5.
But what about those who believe that Jasprit Bumrah is that rare breed of a bowler who takes the pitch out of the equation?
He does, but I'm just saying, once you get rank turners, then more often than not, 90% of your bowling came down to spinners. So just to have him out of that 10 bowl 5%, not utilizing, I probably don't need him. It's not the optimum utilization of Bumrah. Of course, Bumrah would do well in whatever pitch you give him. But I'm saying it's not the optimum utilization. Then I might as well allow him to rest even more and bring him on when I really.
Which I believe was the case in Hyderabad, no? I think Siraj or Bumrah, I think one of these guys had only bowled 8 overs, 10 overs, something like that, and we were all wondering as to what they're doing there.
Possible. So, I mean, I think that...
but it's interesting because in my mind, when I was looking at it, I never sort of thought about the pitch that much basis the squad.
Yeah, but looking at the squad, I think that's what they're doing. Looking at this squad...
Is this to suggest that there won't be turn on day 4, day 5? That's not what you're saying.
No. Of course there will be. That is why they have ended up picking those 4 spinners. And you can never have Indian pitches which will not turn.
Yes.
I mean, it's just the nature of the pitches. As I said, you can only change the pitch according to your liking to a certain extent. I can get, if I leave a lot of grass, if I water the pitch leading up to a test match, I can ensure that there will be juice in that pitch for the first 2 days. I can do that. Which is why when people say, no, you're playing in that ground, nothing is going to happen. It can happen, provided you start preparing that pitch in that way. Yes, it will not turn suddenly and become as bouncy as Gabba. That cannot happen. But it can offer you pitches. And the other reason I'm saying is, 1, that Bumrah is playing. 2, that you have picked 4 fast bowlers, which I think there could be a chance that you play even 3 on a given occasion. And 3, the pitches that you got in Dugout Trophy. See, I don't think that they would not have thought or given it a thought, that what are the pitches that we're making in Dugout Trophy. It wouldn't just be, you cannot have a disconnect that I'll make anything in Dugout Trophy, but come the test match, I'll prepare completely different. There would have had to have been some connect that you're warming up for a test series. Let's get those kind of pitches. Now, of course, they'll have that camp also in Chennai. We get an idea. So my takeaway from what I'm seeing in the recent past is that you will not get those rank turner. So end of rank turner pitches in Indian cricket, I think for now is my...
I don't necessarily agree with that. See, that can obviously be a perspective, but my point is that if India are to play, I think 3 seamers in the series against Bangladesh and even New Zealand also, I think this is basically just to make sure that you have, your backup options ready when you tour Australia. From what I feel is that the inclusion of 4 fast bowlers clearly means that you have your one eye on the BGT. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be the end of rank turner pitches. We can see these kind of pitches even next year also when any of the teams tour in the next WTC cycle. But I think it's happening that you have more fast bowlers. It's primarily because you have one eye on BGT.
But see, again, I know that anything can change.
Yeah.
But what happened with you versus England? So if you're saying it's team specific, Bangladesh is coming, so let's not have rank turners. In New Zealand will come. Then you would have not done that against England also.
Okay.
I think what you've learned from that Australia series as well, where eventually you prepared a pitch in Ahmedabad to ensure there is a draw, how you went through changes in England also. See, nothing happens overnight.
Exactly.
And now that Bangladesh is coming, I think you will now eventually go back to that.
Do you have the same expectation for the 3 test matches against New Zealand?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That going forward, this is what it's going to be. It's not just one overnight. See, for them also to move from rank turners to these kind of pitches has not happened like overnight. It's happened gradually with the experiences that you were getting.
Yeah.
That you were caught on back foot certain occasions where you could have won matches. See, again, one of the major things, and I'm sure batters would have pointed out, your batters were going through awful form. Your own batters are not getting those many runs, the confidence that you need. We were all discussing crucial season coming up for Virat Kohli.
Yes.
How does he get things back if you start going back to 2.5 day test matches? So you cannot. I'm sure your players have also, or your batters have also had a say, and there has been a slow change of mindset. And with the squad that you're picking now, I'm getting an indication that you have turned the page.
Okay.
Who knows what happens in the future, but I get that feeling for now.
Okay, fine.
My takeaway being that Rishabh Pant undoubtedly, yes, he's not been around for 2 years now in red ball cricket, but for whatever that we've seen in the shortest format of the game with regards to the World Cup, and then whatever that we saw from the 2 innings, he remains, even after 2 years of no test cricket, remains a number 1 wicket-keeper batter.
But was there any doubt about that?
I don't think so.
It was
Did anyone doubt that he will not start?
There was never going to be a doubt, but I'm just saying takeaways. Yes, you were looking at that was one of the names you were closely looking at, and now we know that we all were right in terms of thinking that.
Yeah, I mean it can be a takeaway, but it's
Because people are see, there's all sorts of theories doing the rounds, and there are people who are happy with it. There are people who are not happy with it, because you all talk about there being a process, there being a passage to the Indian team. There have been certain players who the selectors have not been that kind to, and there are certain players that the selectors have been kind to. Rishabh Pant ends up being in the latter, where he has the favor of the selectors, and without having any red ball cricket experience under his belt over the last 2 years, the only coming just a couple of days back, it's good enough for him to walk back into the side. So yeah,
that I'm not surprised. I mean, you can put that down, but
it was a
no-brainer.
given. But yeah, you have the stamp, let's say, of approval from the BCCI in terms of whatever.
And the only thing that could have obviously stopped Pant from not being the first choice is the fitness. That's it.
Yeah.
Had fitness not been up to the mark,
By extension, what this also
different.
means, and it's not a name that many people will be talking about, that Shrikar Bharat's test career is maybe international career when it comes to test
And
cricket
that's
is all but done,
Dhruv Jurel doing
because
well
Dhruv
against
Jurel
England.
is in. So
Yes.
yeah, because Shrikar Bharat was there in the previous series, remember, but
Even
then
played that one test against England.
did play the one test against England as well. But then came Dhruv Jurel, so maybe that by extension tells you that you're not going to be seeing him in Indian whites.
yeah, both no-brainers for me.
Okay. So one is, I don't think India basically ready for life after Captain Rohit Sharma. You do not have a designated vice captain.
That's an interesting one.
See, I'll tell you one
Interesting
thing.
one.
See, over the past couple of years, since the time Rohit Sharma has been appointed the test
So
captain.
you're saying, let's put the point first.
Yeah.
I like this takeaway. Let's put, before we get into the debate. It's an interesting one because at least, like Pant, there's no discussion on it. But
Yeah.
at least this will get a discussion. So you are saying
Life not ready after Rohit.
India not ready.
No captain in waiting after Rohit or
Who's Rohit's successor? No Rohit successor. Can we?
Yeah, no Rohit's successor.
No.
Rohit successor.
So so my point here is that Rohit, ever since he has been appointed as the test captain here, the point is that India have always had this musical chair around the vice captaincy thing. Sometimes you have had KL Rahul, sometimes you have had Jasprit Bumrah also, and that's where I feel you do not really know. And at that time, Rishabh Pant also got injured. He had that accident.
Yeah.
So I think you do not really have those options ready, because in KL Rahul, we have seen that in the past 10 years now, since the time he made his debut, I think it was in late 2014, he has played only 50 test matches in the last 9 years or so. So which accounts for about 5.5 matches every year. That's the thing with KL Rahul. In case of Jasprit Bumrah also, he cannot play each and every test match. You have to preserve him. You have to make sure that he is ready for all the test matches. Now that Rishabh Pant is back in the reckoning for test cricket, I think you're going to probably see him for the next 4-5 matches as to how he goes about his form, fitness, and how much his knees are, really able to take as far as his wicket keeping workload is concerned. You want to see that, because there will be occasions when he'll, keep for 90 overs a day. So that's where I think you want to see that whether Rishabh Pant can really take care of himself well. Then I think he could very well be, India's next, test vice captain. But then you've already had a designated vice captain in, white ball cricket now, and that is Shubman Gill.
Yeah.
So it could be Shubman Gill also. But then I think it could possibly be a toss-up between Gill and Pant, depending upon how they perform.
And what a pity that here we have in white ball cricket. It's a pity that Surya Kumar Yadav and Hardik Pandya don't play Test cricket. Otherwise, we would have had multiple contenders. Since we have multiple contenders for vice captaincy in white ball cricket,
Yeah.
Gill as well, Ruturaj Gaikwad as well, many contenders there. But in Test cricket, yeah, that's interesting. They've not named. I think the reason that they've not named a vice captain, because I don't know if they have a clear-cut vision of who's going to be.
Exactly.
And India has erred in the past, looking at KL Rahul and the Shreyas Iyers of the world, that you've looked at vice captain. The only bit surprising here is that if you were not sure about a lot of other players, you had a test match in England where Jasprit Bumrah was the captain. So you've not even gone to him, and I understand why they don't do it, because he's not going to be available to be playing all test matches. There's going to be workload management, so you're not even seeing him. But just counting the number of vice captain material, because what we are saying as a takeaway is no successor for Captain Rohit, but the ones who would want to be considered, there is Shubman Gill, there is KL Rahul, there is Rishabh Pant, there is
on the sidelines the Shreyas Iyer as well.
Sideline Shreyas Iyer.
Maybe Ravindra Jadeja, because he has also been India's
I think the ship is sailed.
appointed vice captain.
No chance.
Ship is sailed.
If they would have been, they would have looked at it. No chance.
How about R. Ashwin?
No, if that was the case, they should have gone to him earlier. But the fact that they haven't is telling you that no. So these 4 or 5 that we spoke about remain. But yeah, why could they have not? I mean, KL Rahul, why could he have been?
Maybe they are not sure about his fitness, because the thing with KL Rahul has been that sometimes whenever he has been in great form, he has gotten injured. Same thing happened in the England series also. He got that 80 odd.
The one thing can I point out here, what this also tells me is that Jasprit Bumrah will probably not be playing the second test match. Why? Because Jasprit Bumrah was your designated vice captain in the England series. Now you're looking at series of importance.
But Harshit, that can't be the reason, because I think the reason even if he plays 2 test matches, the reason they're not looking at him is because eventually he'll be rotating. And your vice captain has to be.
Yes, but I'm looking at it this way. What's really changed from the England series till now? What is it that we've seen?
Injury, no. After that, he had that long injury layoff. So now I think they've come to terms with the fact, or they've gotten in touch with reality, that he cannot be playing all test matches. So there's no point. It's not a reflection of Jasprit Bumrah, the captain. What you're saying is that this is the road that we can't go to. This is not the road that we can take. Our vice captain has to be someone who takes over.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Exactly.
That's the whole purpose. And now, while he'll be an integral part of your test squad, there will be a lot of test matches and not there. So might as well put all your energies in the guy who's going to be a future captain. And I think that's the point. But maybe you're not sure about a KL Rahul, whether he will continue being that guy who takes it beyond, and there isn't also a massive age gap between the two anyway. Whether it's Shubman Gill, maybe you could have gone Shubman Gill's down the road, but you've not picked him as vice captain, maybe you're not even sure about him then going forward. So it's an interesting bit. Again, Rishabh Pant, as you point out, his fitness would be the thing and his form. So you're not going with anyone. So no clear successor, but that the trouble will be, see, otherwise how does it matter who is the vice captain? Maybe you could say that, listen, let me go through this season and then I'll zero in on my future captain. That also you can, because Rohit's not going anywhere immediately in test cricket. The problem comes is when you're not available. In a test match, Virat gets injured, you had a KL Rahul to go out and be a captain. Or an occasion where Virat came back, Ajinkya Rahane went and cap. You don't have a vice captain. Supposing there's an injury, first test match, you get hit on your hand, you're not what do? Who becomes the captain? That's why that designated vice captain, of course somebody will now step in if the need be, but a designated vice captain wouldn't have been a bad idea. I mean, I think KL would have been a safe choice, right, in test cricket, if you had named him a vice captain.
But I think
because you are not looking at the future, but let's say if something was to happen to the captain in a series, he's the guy who will step up. So you know that it's clear cut.
Maybe. I think I took the name of Ashwin here, but then I also remembered that he's not a certainty in overseas test matches. So any which ways.
And also, I think again, just as he was talking about Jadeja, that ship has sailed. I'm not saying that maybe Ashwin would have made a great captain, could have. But the fact that you did not go down that road you're not going there again. That way, though, there is Virat Kohli in the team, no? You could always ask him, but he's given the captaincies. You can't go there. So there are certain areas you're not going to be going. So no point discussing those.
Okay.
Those bets. But that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
What's the other big takeaway for me from this squad announcement? Is that
I do have one. Maybe it opens up a debate. I feel that KL Rahul's ahead of Shreyas Iyer. This is something that we were deliberating.
No, this is no debate. This is not a takeaway. Also. It's a dumb thing.
But
it's already
there is somebody missing in the room today who was strongly disagreeing with us.
That doesn't matter. It doesn't make it to a takeaway. Yeah. It's a very minor thing. It's like saying that who starts ahead between Akshar and Kuldeep. Anybody could, and we can have a debate. But that's not a big takeaway from us from a squad announcement point of view. That KL is ahead of Shreyas Iyer is no surprise. I think the one takeaway from me is that you have not. There is a consistency in selection. At least I'm seeing that.
Yeah.
I am not seeing that you're getting swayed by one or two matches or one match. For example, that you have stuck with a Sarfraz in the team.
Exactly.
You have stuck with a Jurel in the team. You're stuck with an Akashdeep. Of course, he's done well as well in the team. So pretty much the guys who did well for you recently, you are sticking with them despite what may have happened in that first round of Duleep Trophy or even before that in white ball cricket. So I think the one big takeaway for me is the consistency
in team selection.
Yeah, or a continuation in teams.
If I can just break down that thought, because the other point that I have in mind is, again, it is more player specific, but it stems from the reason you say of consistency, that maybe an Akashdeep has moved ahead of a Mukesh Kumar.
Yeah, but again, as I said, it is true.
Because Mukesh was there, he played your test matches in England against England, but this time he's not even named.
Agreed, but as I said, that's an individual thing. No, that's again we're getting into why this one was picked or why that is. I'm saying you're looking at takeaways for India's cricket going forward. What are the big takeaways? What are the macro points that you're looking at? Today, Akashdeep has come ahead of it. Tomorrow, Yash Dayal could go ahead of somebody, but those are just minor things. We're looking at like macro points. Like, see, there are not too many backup openers. Maybe it's the end of rank turners, right? Who's the successor for Rohit? There's a consistency in selection. So, like, what is this selection telling you for the future of Indian cricket?
I think one point can really be that you're still okay with the all-rounders that you have who have been doing the job for you for the past maybe 13-14 years or so. It's Ravindra Jadeja and R. Ashwin. Obviously, they are not getting any younger. One is 35, one is approximately 37 or 38. So this is probably the right time to look for options. Yes, in case of Ravindra Jadeja, you already have an Akshar Patel who is around 29-30, so he still has those good years left in him. But in case of Ashwin, I think you're still not worried about it because you are probably expecting that he will continue. So that, I think, for me, one of my points is that you're okay with the all-rounders that you have.
So you're saying that nobody is pushing Jadeja and Ashwin, are you saying
due to age and all? Yeah, that's the point.
No, nobody is pushing as in there's not enough competition, or you're done with them, or?
I think it's not about any competition. It's just that you're still keeping the faith in them that they are going to continue. That's it. You don't really need to look at
this selection tell you, like,
because there is no Washington Sundar.
Because there is no Washington Sundar, there is no Sai Kishore also who has done well in domestic cricket. So
yeah, the point is that there are not enough all-rounders pushing them, is what you're saying. Yeah, but because see, this selection, if they are selected, that's not a surprise, right? Everyone expected them.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're saying, but I kind of disagree with that because see, I'll tell you why. There are those all-rounders that are pushing them. For example, Akshar is pushing them. He may play them or not play them. Like pushing them in the sense, for them to hold their position, they have to work hard. That's what I'm saying. But there is an Akshar, there is a Sai Kishore. I think they're needing, but they are ahead right now. Even if you, me, anyone would have been picking the team, I think it's too early to even look beyond them so far.
Okay.
We've not reached that stage. Maybe
Maybe one
2 years
series
time.
where they do not do well. That's when maybe you would want to look.
I don't
Maybe.
know. I at the moment I don't think that's much of a debate in terms of their position in the team. They are still your number 2 spinners that you have. They're going to continue. You will have on and off someone pushing them, but we've not reached a stage where you can be done with.
Just an interesting thought. Maybe we'll look at that discussion if a certain Washington Sundar plays ahead of R Ashwin in BGT in one of the test matches because of his batting, primarily because of his better batting.
But for that he needs to really step up as a bowler. His figures even in Duleep Trophy
weren't impressive at all. Just two
they have
wickets.
Taken a young off spinner for the camp. There is a camp
Himanshu
that is
Sharma.
happening in Chennai. Himanshu Sharma, who's not even played Ranji Trophy I think till now, is going to be bowling in the nets because he's a tall off spinner like Ashwin. And you're not taking another off spinner. Ritik Shokeen could have gone, or Washington Sundar could have. You're not going there, so I don't think that they've reached that level as such. Right now, their position is undisputed. And even if you and I were selectors, would you have picked a team without Jadeja?
No, absolutely.
I also believe, I don't know if this qualifies to be another point here, an additional one here, but I think that Akshar Patel is being looked at as a backup batter as well. Somebody who can bat in the middle order too.
Yeah. But that's not a big takeover. That we know. All of these things are known. Akshar Patel is batting at number 4.
Akshar, because again, because when you try pit him against a Jadeja, there isn't really a debate there. We know who starts. But if you're looking at, because we started the discussion earlier with trying to name as to who fills in as a backup, who performs which role. Akshar Patel is a unique case over here because I remember when we were also making a 15, I think he was the 14th or the 15th name, and there was a long discussion on Akshar's name as well as to why would you have an Akshar in the squad also, because you already have 2 all-rounders, you won't be playing a third. But the fact that he's there tells me that not only does he become your backup all-rounder, but he also becomes a backup middle-order batter as well.
True.
If there is a situation that an Akshar needs to be batted, then he will come into bat. If a KL Rahul's not 100%, or if there's an injury to a Sarfaraz, because both we know are not going to be keeping for the Indian team. So that way, as a pure batter, Akshar then comes in because you wouldn't have otherwise had him.
No, but that is a no-brainer again. Everyone knows.
Because people were saying that why will you have a third all-rounder in the side? In the 15.
Akshar has been there not from now, from I think 2 years now.
2021 in fact. 3 years. Yeah.
No, I was always batting for him. But there was a valid, and I understood where people were also coming from, because he doesn't play in the 11. If we have a Jadeja and an Ashwin both, how do you fit in a third all-rounder? But he, from me, is that troubleshooter. In case there's something in the middle order, if I need a backup, I just promote him, I make him bat 5, 6, depending on which batter isn't available.
Okay.
Yeah. So these are the 5 big learnings. I'm sure there are a few more that we may be missing. I'm sure Shivam can throw some light on it based on what our subscribers are saying.
Yeah. Shivam, let's go to the comment section.
Okay, Shivam just wants us to point out what those 5 takeaways are. In case you're joining us right now,
you can keep cutting
on your
to it while we're
screen,
reading the questions.
no, he'll have to cut it, na?
You can cut to it while we're reading questions. We don't have to show them out.
We'll have to use this screen, na?
No, you tell us from there is what I'm saying. I'm asking you, is there anything that is a big takeaway that our viewers have said? You can tell us. Is this something that we missed? Is there anything that we could have? I'm sure there are big takeaways, not the most obvious ones that you guys have shared with us. We know the captain bit is really interesting. I agree. Preferring players who are doing well in domestic and red ball. Yeah, but Deepu says DP says one takeaway is selectors preferring cricketers who are doing well in domestic red ball cricket. But what they've also done is they have continued with the flow in the sense, the ones that were there with you for the England series did well. You've not just discarded them. I think the only one that can consider himself slightly unlucky is Devdutt Padikkal. But I think he would also understand that he had come in because of an injury to KL Rahul and he's fit. So it's not so much dependent on his performance as such.
Yeah.
I guess other than that, yeah. But overall you can look at that the selectors have become very mindful of players playing red ball cricket, consistently doing well. And I think the Yash Dayal selection tells you that.
Exactly.
Because there was a Khalil who did decently well. There's an Arshdeep in contention.
And
but
Avesh Khan also.
They have, no, but Avesh right-hander, no? They have to go with a left-hander. So the reason they went with a Yash Dayal over someone like Arshdeep or Khalil is simply because he's been consistently playing domestic cricket. And I think that's made a huge difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Sharan Vinakota has a comment for you that Nikhil, I personally think Akash, I think he's talking about Akash Deep here, selection is justified. He looks more potent than Mukesh.
Well, yeah, I completely agree with you, Sharan. In fact, this is something we pointed out in our discussion yesterday. That Akashdeep, I'm not even looking at the 9 wickets that he took or the fifer that he took in Duleep Trophy. If you look at his bowling, the way he was bowling in Duleep Trophy, sometimes you just look at the wickets and you say, some of the dismisses, I don't know if you guys think like that, and that was just a thought I had when I was watching it. He reminds me so much of Mohammad Shami.
Yeah.
Much of Mohammad Shami.
Especially when his dismissal, the dismissal that of Nitish Kumar Reddy.
Talking about the hairstyle.
The Nitish Kumar Reddy dismissal, everyone had Shami's name because the absolute perfect seam position
and a nipper also.
The way he runs, throws, and the lack of hair. All of it.
Shami is, we can't say about that lack of hair for Shami now.
Anymore.
Now
anymore.
But you remember the Shami that I was talking about, right?
Absolutely.
The Shami that would do this to while celebrating, that was for the bowling coach back then.
That New Zealand.
Ambre.
That New Zealand match in World Cup.
Yes. I think he was signaling to Praveen Ambre.
Yeah. He was, correct. He helped him out for a few things, Okay, let's take a few questions. Emi K saying you're not having pistachios. Should I send you some from Boston? Hukum kare bhai. Emi K, thank you so much for making this offer, but no thanks. That happens when there is a sponsored program on air. We will have enough of it. Don't worry. But thank you for your offer. We don't need the pistachio. You know what we need is your love. That is, and how can you show us your love? By liking our video, by subscribing to our channel, and sharing our content. That's all we need from you, Emike.
And you can have your pistachios while you do all of that.
And you have the pistachios. Be happy. Future IITN.
Love the name.
All the very best to you.
Last test Virat played was in South Africa, where he was India's best batter on tour, scored 100 in West Indies, scored 100 in BGT, that Ahmedabad knock. But some
lockdown
kids still say that VK is not in form.
No, but numbers suggest that depending on the height, he is averaging late 40s, early 50s, and most of his career in Test match cricket. Last 2 odd years or something, or last 1 year, he was 37. Despite that Ahmedabad 100, which is on a flat track. I'm not saying that this is an opinion of 1 or 2. If you were to ask Virat himself, because of the lofty standard he's set for himself and he's such a go-getter, he would have liked to have been scoring much more, 100%. He himself wouldn't have been satisfied. That's why I'm saying it's a big season coming up for him, and for the Indian team, you need a in-form Virat Kohli if you want to do
Also, South Africa wasn't KL Rahul the better batter.
See, Kohli made those useful contributions
across
the 2 Test matches.
Comparing him to KL, the point is not who was better. His point is just with Virat. When Virat did this.
Because again, numbers don't lie. As you don't extrapolate the numbers also. But the fact that he's only added 2 centuries from the previous WTC final to now, and then there are those who've added 10. I think Joe Root's added 13 in these 2 years. Steve Smith's also added about 7 in that time. So just to add to Nikhil's point, yes, this isn't the Virat Kohli of the 16, 17, 18, 19 where he was scoring about 8 to 10 centuries almost a year across formats. It's not the Virat Kohli that we've seen for the last 2 years now. Yes, the Virat Kohli we saw in the World Cup is the Virat Kohli we like, is the Virat Kohli That's always sets the stage on fire. But in Test cricket, his dismissals in Bangladesh, I remember last year, were a little cause of worry as well. And you do hope that Virat Kohli of now does a better job going forward in these 10 Test matches left.
Going back to that chat, there was a question there from Subarao Chamarthi. He says these selection are in view of the big Australian tour. That's a very interesting point that you make, Subarao. And I think this is something that Siddharth also pointed out. Even he thought that selection is keeping in mind for the Australia tour. Possible, but I think there you might see a few more changes from now to the Australia tour, because one, they will be keeping a close eye on the remaining Duleep Trophy matches. That's why they've picked a team only for one Test match. And then between these 2 and the 3 Tests versus New Zealand, you are going to make a few changes in your 11. So true. Overall, let's see what happens. Shami might come back into the mix. So what does that happen to the fast bowling? A few things will change.
I think India pretty much sorted as far as their batting is concerned. The only point is that you need backup fast bowlers for Australia, and that's why you're going to look at Akashdeep and Yash Dayal more in these 5 Test matches that you have at home.
Okay.
Danush has a comment. If India prepares 2-day pitches to play to beat teams like Bangladesh and New Zealand, then they don't deserve to win.
But I don't think you're getting those pitches.
Yeah, I don't think. That's what I think. Nikhil also mentioned this point of this is probably going to be the end of the rank turner pitches.
But he's just sharing his opinion that if they do, so he's not going to be. That's what he's saying.
Yeah. Okay, Priyanshu has a question that who is the future captain of this Test team? I would say groom Rishabh Pant. All 3 of you tell. Will India defeat New Zealand 3-0 or will New Zealand challenge India 2-1?
We'll do the New Zealand prediction when the New Zealand series is about to start. Let's now look at Bangladesh. We did do our predictions the other day. Still a long time. We'll still make our predictions closer to the series. But to talk about the future captain, I think we discussed at length. That's another point that Siddharth brought about in terms of what this selection tells you about the future of Indian cricket. But if you had to see again, the thing is, I've said this many times before. Vice captaincy is sort of a burden. I've seen anyone who is burdened with vice captaincy, he thinks of him as a future captain, never becomes captain. It has happened to so many players just in Indian cricket before. Just in Indian cricket. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So nobody would want to. But there are many contenders. I think we discussed. Rishabh Pant is one of them. Shubman Gill is the other one. There's KL Rahul also, who still would like to believe. Shreyas Iyer is not part of the team, but he was being looked at earlier.
Yeah.
So plenty.
Okay. Anik Sarkar has a comment. Did you think when in August the England series finished, India played 16 tests? Can Virat cross Gavaskar's total runs and equal Dravid's centuries?
Ooh, that's a different. Anik, maybe we'll do an entire dugout on that.
Yeah.
That deserves a dugout.
He's also including that one test against one test of the WTC final. He's confident that India will reach. That's the one match.
But the problem is not reaching WTC finals. India has done it on the last 2 occasions. It's winning that WTC final.
Okay, scoring hundreds in all SENA countries. If you question whether Pant will be in the 11, then I guess you consider other players as Don Bradman. The truth is he doesn't have a PR. Okay, like Gill or Sanju.
I mean, who is it that did not vouch for Pant in the 11?
Exactly.
In fact, the point here, I think everyone knew that once he was fit. In fact, the point that Harshit made about what do you pick up from this selection for future of Indian cricket, where he pointed out that Pant is still your number 1 wicketkeeper batter. We said that's the most obvious one. So we did not even debate on that.
Yeah.
So that was even without debate, everyone agreed. So I don't know where you have a thought that people are questioning his position in the test squad. In fact, he's the one who's been backed the most, I would say. Last couple of questions before we wind up. You've got G.H. Pujara saying no backup opener, Rohit Jaiswal safety. Oh, that's an interesting point. He is saying they have not taken a backup opener just to make Rohit and Jaiswal feel safe about their position.
Rohit doesn't
And
leave
in
any
way,
cushion.
I don't think it would have put any pressure on Rohit and Jaiswal, even if they had taken someone like a Gaikwad, Panchal, or even Ishwaran for that matter. They were always going to be backups.
Yeah. And by the way, if you're thinking that safety in the sense no backup nahi hai, so even if you fail in 1 or 2 test match, nobody will come. They've only announced it for 1 test. So even if you want to make that change, you can. So
Yeah.
there's no safety, sir, for anyone. Okay, DP says one takeaway: selectors preferring players who are doing. We've taken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the one takeaway was that selectors are showing some sort of consistency. So which is similar to what you are saying. Yeah. King D says no 140 plus pace bowler in the lineup is a worry, but I said doesn't matter. Pakistan had many 140 plus pace bowlers in their lineup. They ended up losing the series to Bangladesh. Na? If you give me a Jasprit Bumrah, if he's not bowling 140 plus, okay, my friend.
True.
Give me a Shami, if he's not bowling 140 plus, I'm okay, my friend.
Yeah.
They'll do the job for me.
It's the skill that matters.
Right now, Akashdeep is doing the job fantastically well without bowling 140 plus. Is he? I don't think so.
So Lalit Solanki has a comment that Yash Dayal is ahead of Arshdeep Singh.
Yeah, we discussed that, and no surprise. Look at Yash Dayal and the amount of effort he puts in domestic cricket.
See,
He's been consistently playing domestic cricket, unlike Arshdeep and Khalil.
yeah.
So he deserves that.
After
One takeaway I have,
yeah,
which I am suddenly reminded.
yeah.
Can you go to the Shivam is today thoda sa not listening to us. So takeaway number 6, and we can have a quick debate before.
Yeah, please.
And one takeaway from the future of Indian Test cricket. Where is the fast bowling
all-rounder? Okay. You did that.
You don't have
Reddy thing, that Nitish Reddy commented it.
Yes, it reminded me because I had that in my mind.
It got to me also, yes.
And I had just forgotten about it. No, where is the fast bowling all-rounder?
He's
Tell me, where is it?
he plays for a
One by one. There is the fast one. Can you see? Can you look around?
No, I don't think you
By the way, to be fair, I must go and we have a comment. Just go to the comment. By the way, Nitish Reddy does look like the real deal. He's not a.
He does.
As a bowler, what I'm saying, he's not a ambling in naam ke vaste medium pacer. He's not that. He is you can see, a decent medium pacer.
Yeah.
So he is something that you
he's
can.
athletic as well.
Yeah. Like Priyanshu pointed out, how about Nitish Reddy for England tour? That's slightly further away. Will he get chances to prove himself before that? Maybe he'll have to do something in the remaining Duleep Trophy match.
Yes.
Or maybe gets a game or two. But right now with the selection, you're feeling that he's not really knocking on the door instantly.
True.
There's a Shivam Dube also, let's not forget.
I think he is knocking on the door.
Yeah,
instantly,
maybe.
Because he was selected for the Zimbabwe series also before he was ruled out due to
and
injury.
the fact that they're bowling him enough in Duleep Trophy would be maybe, see, a lot of times you are instructed also as a captor.
True.
That, see, I want to see him, give him a few overs, I want to see whether he has it in. So, there is, a Nitish Reddy, Hardik we know is not going to be looking at red ball because of his fitness. And then there is Shivam Dube. But are you seeing that fast ball? Does any one of them do it for you at the moment?
There's this man that always does it for you, Shardul Thakur.
Yeah, but he's not even playing the Duleep Trophy, na?
He'll come out of nowhere.
Tough now. I think the way they've looked at selection, it's now tough.
But
Plus,
Nitish Reddy also, the thing is,
to be fair, he was playing as a medium pacer only, as a seam bowler only.
But he got you those crucial 46 runs.
But you can't rely on that. No, that's a bonus.
They also saying that in lighter vein. Saying that in lighter vein that Shardul is your man. Clearly the returns haven't been what you expect of a fast bowling all-rounder. He has the ability to get you those breakthroughs. I remember he was the one who got you the wicket of Steve Smith.
Yeah.
The crucial wicket of Steve Smith in the WTC final. Then got you those 46 runs as well. However, the feeling is that you must look past a Shardul Thakur now. And in that case, Nitish Kumar Reddy, the only reservation that I have with him is I need to see more of him, and injuries are a bit of a problem with him as well. Remember the time he got his maiden call up but eventually didn't go on that tour because of injury. and it took him a long time to recover from that. So just that bit with regards to Nitish Kumar Reddy, but he looks like the only one you can turn to right now.
Yeah, he is in the Hardik mold in terms of bowling. Like, he can bowl. He's not just, as you know, a lot of time fast bowling all-rounder.
He's not dibbly-dobbly.
Dibbly-dobbly fast bowler, he's not that.
He'll
have to perform consistently well to do that, to make the team. So these are our 5 big, now they become 6, So you can remove 5 and just keep big learnings from India's team selection for
big
Bangladesh.
learnings, can remove 6 also,
Test series, and this is basically looking at the future of Indian cricket. The lack of backup openers, seems like these are the end of rank turner pitches that you will get in India going forward. Pant remains a number 1 wicket-keeper batter. There's no successor for Captain Rohit at the moment that you can clearly pick and pinpoint. There has been consistency in team selection by the selectors, not too much with tried and tested players, and they're paying a lot of heed to red ball form while picking red ball teams. And finally, where's that fast bowling all-rounder? We are all waiting for one. That elusive fast bowling all-rounder that we seem to miss in Indian cricket.
The next Kapil Dev.
Let's not get there, please.
So thank you for your company. Could not take all your comments, but we have many days leading up to the test match, so we'll keep coming back with a new episode of Dugout that comes your way every day. Anything else you want to say apart from this? Anything
or
that you had to say?
Forever, you know what.
Yeah, forever hold your silence till 6:15 p.m. tomorrow. Nothing.
Chalte hain on that.
On that note, bye bye. Take care.
Good night. Nandri. Shubhratri. Shabba khair. Eat your vegetables and don't you dare trouble your mother. Bye bye.
Oh.